Hey guys, so it's me. Um, gonna come and chat with you a little bit, as always. Right? It's been a very like interesting few days, weekend with my kids, just activities. So Friday we got a letter from my son's school, and it was saying like Influenza B was one of the kids there contracted it. And so every time something like that happens, they send a letter. Uh, a month ago, it was strep throat. My son did not get that, thank God, but a couple of kids did. Right, so like I said, Friday influenza A was detected, and influenza A is apparently worse than influenza B. So I was like, oh man, I guess more contagious or whatever. But my son, he doesn't get sick a lot at all. Thank God. Like there was a time when me and my husband had COVID, and my kids was in the house with us the entire time. And at the time, we had an apartment right closer space, and my daughter had got a fever for 24 hours, and that was it. And my son, all he had was like the sniffles, and I don't even know if that was COVID or if he was just sniffling. He had the sniffles for like 2 months. That was it. But anyways, he's a pretty healthy kid to the point where I'd be like, are you some type of alien or something? But this time he wasn't so blessed to escape the flu, right? So um, I had a Christmas program to host this weekend, and so my son had practice in the game. Practice was Friday. He was fine Friday, the day we got the note. We went to practice at his school. He was fine. He was running up and down the court. But there was another incident that happened at the school. One of the coaches, like, knee popped out or something. It was something crazy. My husband was there. He called me. He was like, oh man, this ain't good. The guy was, I think he fell. He twisted his knee, whatever. So the guy had to go to the hospital. They had to take the kids out. So that was one thing. So we got the letter. The guy, his knee popped out. It was scary for the kids. Then, um, um, sorry, I'm just trying to get the stories. So much happened this weekend. Then had my son had a a Christmas concert. But hold on, when was his Christmas concert? He had practice Friday and a Christmas concert. Oh, okay. So he had a Christmas concert Thursday. Right, that's what happened. He had a Christmas concert at the school Thursday evening. Then Friday, we got the note about the influenza. Then Saturday, when he woke up, he was in a terrible mood. Like, my son is very happy, happy go lucky. He doesn't get toots a lot, and if he does, it only lasts for like 2 minutes, and he's back to Jolly Land, right? He was just acting really weird, and I knew as a mom, I'm like, something's up with him. Something's not right. So I'm like, what is wrong with you? He just couldn't seem to get it together. He was grumpy. He was sad. Had a big attitude. So my husband was like talking to him like you need to have better attitude. What is wrong with you? So I'm telling my husband, I'm like, oh, something else going on with him. So as a mom, I'm concerned because I didn't know what it was. I didn't even think about the flu at that time because, like I said, he doesn't get sick like that. So he went to apparently play at his basketball game Saturday morning, and I went to my church event to set up, so I couldn't go to the game. So I thought he was sad because I couldn't go to the game because I'm everywhere with him. So my husband comes to the church event with him, and he looks still the same. I'm like, what is wrong? Like, you done played your game, you should be over it, whatever. He says, I'm so exhausted. So he goes in the back of the church away from everybody and lays down on like a pew in the back of the church. Well, we're in the basement, but like it's like a sectioned off section. So he went back there and he laid down. He was about to fall asleep. And I'm like, that's not my son. So I told my husband, I'm like, I think he might need to take him home because I don't know what he's dealing with. So took his temperature, no temp. So I'm like, is he exhausted? He's never this exhausted. So automatically I'm alarmed. Then my husband tells me, well, he did say his chest was hurt during the game. He could barely run up and down the court. And I'm like, that's not normal either. Like, he's 8, he's healthy. Like, he's never had that issue before. He's played plenty of basketball games. And, um, and apparently he got his tooth knocked out. So my son was having a rough day. And that night, in the middle of the night, um, he had like a slight cough, nothing major, and then woke up burning up, right? Fever was like 103. So 103 fever, exhaustion, body aches, diarrhea. It just all hit him. And I do know from experience that the flu, when it hits you, it hits you. It's like one day you're good, the next day you're not. That's how it happened to me years ago. I haven't had it in years. I pray I don't get it ever again, but I haven't had it in years. But anyways, I knew what it was. I'm like, oh man, he's got the flu or whatever. So we're still recovering from that. My daughter, thank God, no symptoms, nothing. And she's normally the one that gets ill. And the flu has been running through her class to the point where it was only like 9, 10 kids there last week. Like every day the line was just getting shorter and shorter. So I started making her wear her mask. And I know some people say masks work, sometimes they don't. But I do think mask does something. It has to, because I remember during COVID season, my son was in school and it went through his school so bad they had to shut down, right? I think that was year 2021. And they said all the kids that were wearing masks, they didn't get it, right? So they said they think masks does help in this case. Like when something infectious is going that fast through a certain area, it could help. So ever since then, with my daughter, I was like, you got to start wearing your mask. You got to start wearing your mask. And she had just got over this terrible cough for like months. Anyways, so far she has been good, and I pray that she remains good. I kept him and her separate. He's home now, but he's in his room. He's been really good at doing that, which is how I know he doesn't feel good. He's not the stay in the room, without complaining type kid. He's just been real tired, and also I'm just tired. So, anyways, I'm just praying for everybody out there that's going through stuff with these viruses and just in general. I've been doing so much. I had to grab a coffee. Yesterday, I was taking care of him. I had made a lasagna. I had to wash and do my daughter's hair. I had to do laundry. I had to disinfect my bathroom because he kept, bathrooms you really have to disinfect because that's where all the icky stuff is. So I had to continuously disinfect that, like spray it down, bleach, all that, Fabuloso, whatever, scrub it down. Then I had to get my couch because he was in the living room before we found out he had a fever. So I had to disinfect stuff, wipe stuff down there, and just do the best I can. But I was just like, when does it end? Like I was trying to prep for this event at my church. And I told myself, when this event is over, I'm gonna definitely um rest, right, and take it easy. And I'm like, I couldn't, because he got sick immediately afterwards, and I had to go into disinfected, keeping them separate mode, still trying to run a house, but take care of him, give him his meds every 4 hours. It's just some crazy stuff. But I do have this medicine that I would suggest that people get. I'll probably show you tomorrow, but it's Highlands Cold and Cough, or Cold and Mucus. It's supposed to be natural. I don't know how natural it is, but it does work pretty good for when your kids have an extensive cough like that. Just certain remedies, because I know as mothers we can swap sometimes ideas and remedies to really help each other make it through these tough times when the kids are just getting sick left and right. And also if we fall ill, trying to take care of them. So I've been wearing a mask when I'm around him and stuff like that. I also think maybe that helps when we get to the house. There's some people like, you was already exposed to it, so if you was gonna get it, you was gonna get it. I said, yeah, but if I'm not having symptoms, I'm not about to be around, I'm gonna try to maybe mentally to help me feel like I'm being safe or cautious, because once mama down, the whole house is in turmoil, okay? But yeah, so that's what I've been going through. I was supposed to get my hair retwisted Wednesday, but I'm not gonna go because I'm exhausted, number one. Number two, like, I'm gonna just let it go for another month and just get it done for my birthday in January. Um, just because I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I don't know if it's right. Some people, like, if they have sick people in their house, they still go places if they're not sick. But to me, you could be carrying something that you don't know. So I kind of like don't like to go places if I feel like my son, I've been taking care of him. So I'm like, I'll lay low and wait. So I'm probably not gonna go to get my hair done, just because when you get your hair done, you're very close in quarters with that person, and I don't want to get her sick. So laying low this week as much as possible, but yeah, I am so tired. I'm really tired. I'm kind of making this video just to kind of like vent, um, and get it off my chest. As mom, sometimes you feel like you can't vent to your kids because you don't want them to feel bad, and they don't understand. It's not their fault. And sometimes our spouses don't understand. So like you have to get it out some type of way. So I was like, let me make a video because I'm so tired. But I'm gonna keep pushing, keep going. But love God, love people, and like check on your loved ones, your family members. Like life is tough within itself, but when you add like sickness and illness, it just heightens it. Or if you yourself are the caregiver and responsible for these little people or big people who are taken care of, it gets hard. I was a caregiver for my dad for many years, and so that's another story I will share one day. The impact that had on my life, but caregivers, you know how people be like, caregivers are not okay, or whoever, whatever person, particular person you're talking about, they be like, they are not okay. I won't say that I'm not okay or that caregivers are not okay, but sometimes it's a lot. And so, like, we be needing somebody to talk to us, text us, send us $10 for a coffee, like, $5. Like, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to give people things, but every little bit counts. Every, like, I'm thinking about you counts. Every, like, call, a checkup call. It don't even have to be a long call. Every text, every little gift. Like, if you know they like candles, send them that. Or, it doesn't matter, but just like pay attention to people, your loved ones, and just let them know that you see them, that you care. You ain't got to go into detail. Just be there for them, because it really helps. But I'm about to get off. My videos are becoming longer, which means I'm talking more. But yeah, I will see you guys hopefully soon. This week is not going to be as busy as last week was. I just told you about Thursday through Sunday. I didn't even tell you about the first part of my week. It was just a crazy week. Today's drink of today is actually a grande cafe latte with oat milk and a couple of pumps of brown sugar. And they thought I wouldn't like it, but it's actually good. I think maybe it's not as sweet as I normally have my drinks, but to me, it's actually working for me. I got some brown sugar syrup at home that I could put in here if I wanted to sweeten it up, but I think I'm gonna just leave it like this because it's not bad. Because she was like, they was like, we'll wait for you to taste it and make you something else. And I'm like, well, that's nice of you. And I'm like, but I'm good. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna get off of here and get to work. I think my son's temperature has broke. He hasn't had a temperature since midnight, and it's 9, and it was spiking like every 4 hours. So it has not spiked. It's been normal, and you could just tell his face just looks so much brighter just from that fever part being gone. But now he's dealing with the whole cough, the respiratory part. I hope he does not get congested and all that, because my son is the biggest baby when he can't breathe through his nose. Like the biggest baby. Like when I tell you I can't breathe out of my nostrils. One of my nostrils is plugged up. Like every like particular about congestion, he's gonna tell you yes. And I get it because it sucks, right? And you can't sleep a lot when you can't breathe through your nose. But I just pray that he don't get that part. So far, he has been able to sleep through the night for the most part. But anyways, pray for everybody in this flu season. I think honestly, flu The flu got mad at COVID. The flu looked at COVID like, oh, so you just gonna take up 3 years and you just act like I don't exist? And COVID was like, you don't exist. I got this. I got different names and everything. Then the flu was like, oh, okay, I'm still influenza A and B, but watch me come back, and I'm coming back with a vengeance. They're gonna be talking about me now. And then the COVID was like, whatever, do you. So then flu did them and just taking out everybody in its path. Not literally. Thank God you haven't heard about deaths like COVID was doing, but it seemed like everybody getting the flu. People that don't even go out their house getting the flu. How you get the flu and you don't even leave? Flu coming through the vents or something. What is going on? All right. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later.